Having understood the need for brain analysis, then how to go about it, the technology that we're going to use, how to capture our fingerprints, how to analyze the scores that we get from the ridge count. Now we can actually come down to the basic interpretation aspect of dermatoglyphics, and it is very basic, but if we do not understand this basic, then no matter how advanced analysis you have is of no use. So I'm just looking at a very basic analysis. The first and foremost point that we need to understand is the speed of the brain. Each one of us have our own speeds. So we need to know how different we are from others and why we cannot be the way another person is. So I need to first adjust to my speed and make sure that I am in tune with my speed, and I am able to apply my speed, my neural capacities to my environment. Let us now understand how to interpret our scores in contrast or in relation to our neural speed. By looking at the total number of ridge count, we will be able to understand the speed in which our brain functions. That itself is indicative about how we need to work on the task ahead of us, because life is the same, it's complex, it's different for different people, and so we need to know how to tune in our capacities, our speed to the situations around us. We understand now that fingerprints are unique, they are consistent, and they are a universal phenomenon. So for understanding our fingerprints, the first point that we need to look into is our speed. How fast our brain is, or how slow is the brain. There is no right or wrong answer in this analysis. It is only about understanding who you are. Now, if you look at the two cars here, the Ambassador and the BMW, again, we normally would think that BMW is far superior to that of the Ambassador. But again, it depends on the context. It depends on what roads you are going on. It depends on what lifestyle you want to lead. It depends on what kind of a family you have. So utility, everything changes when the context changes. In the same way, just having a BMW in a village which has no roads makes no sense. So understanding what you have and how you're going to use it is very important. Let us look at another example. When you compare these 5 animals, each one of them have their own strength and their weakness, and there is no way that we can compare these 5. Each one has their own merits and demerits. The tortoise, which appears to be slow, is yet consistent. The rabbit, which is very fast, could at times be erratic in its movements. A giraffe, which at times can be fast but may not need to be so fast. A deer, which moves very fast, very swiftly because it is light and agile. An elephant, which moves fast but then it has a huge body to take care of. So you understand each one of them have different functions, different speed, and they all know how to survive. So we need to understand our fingerprints in order to see how we can use it to the context, to the environment that we are living in, rather than compare about which animal is better, which fingerprint is better, which speed is better. So we now need to look at the fingerprints. If we look at the basic 9 fingerprints, if you compare number 1, the secretive brain, because it has no ridge count, so automatically this person is gonna be very slow, but slow and consistent till such time that this person understands what to do. But then once this person understands, they are super in their absorbent capacity and they are able to give out the output beautifully. Whereas if you look at number 8, which is a target, Now these people are like rockets, but what use is it if you're always jumping to conclusions, going too fast ahead, doing things well ahead of time, and this could also be a problem. So understanding the fingerprint pattern and understanding the speed, the neural, how many ridges you have, that shows the speed. So when you see the speed is very high or very low, both cannot be considered good or bad, but has to be learned how to be utilized in our environment. So if you look at the ridge count, generally, a ridge count below 70 would mean that this person is a bit slow initially. So initially, to understand, repetition has to happen. A person between 70 to 100, they are sequence based because they are also slow, but they need to understand the flow, how exactly to go about it, how to learn. So if they are taught in a sequential manner, for them learning would become more effective. Looking at the guidance-based learner, these people between 100 to 130 are invariably people who are average, who are good, who are capable of learning anything, but sometimes they get distracted. So these people need guidance, need motivation from outside in order to move or get to action. Then you have the challenge-based learner who's between 130 to 160 ridge count on all 10 fingers. So if you look at these people, they are very fast, very capable. They need not be guided, but they have to be given a target, a destination, and they will know how to get there. And the lightning-based learner is one who is about 160. So these people are very fast, very sharp, and are very quick on the uptake. But again, they also have their demerits. Looking at the repetition-based learner, people below 70, especially if you see arches, they will have a 0 ridge count. Tented arches will have a very, very low count, below 4. Loops can have again different counts. Even a target can have a low ridge count. But a target's low ridge count as compared to a loop ridge, less ridge count would also be different. So when we look at these pictures, we see there is a repetition based learning. So we can compare them to a bullock cart. Now if your child or if you are below 70, then you need to understand initially when you're learning something, you need to put in more effort, because the more practice that you get, the more mastery you get over of learning any new thing. A person between 70 and 100 is like a scooter, faster than a bullock cart. If you compare, then you can say, yeah, this is better than this. But if you have what you have, then you have to know how to use this. So if you are between 70 to 100, you have to understand that you have to start making meaning of what you know. Try to connect things. Then learning becomes so much more easy. The 100, 130 is compared to a car. So since that is an average, car is good because you're neither slow nor too fast, you're on the average. But again, that also becomes an issue at times because these people need to have more of push, motivation from outside. So each of these patterns, each of these number of ridge counts, each of these types of categories of neural speed has its merits and demerits. If you look at the challenge-based learner, can be compared to a helicopter or a plane. So the speed is 130 to 160. They're very fast, very, very fast compared to the 3 categories below. But again, it has its merits and it has its demerits. Speed need not be safe. Speed can also sometimes cause accidents. And if you look at the last lightning-based learner, we can compare it to that of a rocket. So a rocket doesn't work in day-to-day life because we need to be on this earth. If you're away from earth, it's okay. But if you have to be grounded, if you have to be rooted, then you need to understand how to stay on the ground and not fly off into the sky now and again. So if we look at the 5 speeds or the 5 categories of speeds that I have categorized them into, you see the bullock cart needs practice, the scooter needs to be shown the way, the car needs to be directed properly, the aeroplane needs to have a target to move towards to, and the rocket needs the right platform to take off. So if we look at learning for a student, if we look at learning new things in the career, so whether be it in education, be it in our career, be it in life, this is the way we learn things. And to learn effectively, you have to know the speed of your brain in order to use it to the context in the external world and understand how to live effectively.